All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is the start of another fresh week, and I am so excited. We are going to be finishing up this side of the house, so that'll be exciting. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be tackling the top corner here or not. I may wait for warmer weather just to make sure I don't have any frost to deal with when I do that. But yeah, we're going to be finishing up everything that I can really do for now until we get our soffit here on the 4th of February, which is just like a week and a half from now or so. Apart from that, though, we are giving up something in our lives that has played a pretty key role in our existence for the last 15 years or so. And so yeah, that's going to be a really interesting journey. So yesterday, Dad came over and we kicked some butt. As you can see, we got from I think here over, and so that's quite a bit faster than our normal pace. So I'm very happy with that. Today, I'm just gonna finish up this last little sheet here and start to finish up the corner. And I think that's really about it. There's an issue here where this rib is in the way of the corner trim. And so the solution that my kit supplier has given me to solve that is to cut through this rib all the way up and kind of like fold this one flat and then screw the corner trim into it. And I'm excited to try that out here because that is the same issue that we have up here on the roof. So getting to try it out here will definitely be easier than doing it up there first. And so hopefully that goes well, and then the roof won't be much of an issue. But I'm still kind of thinking I want to wait to do the roof until there's no more frost out. But that's what we got planned for the next couple days, and I think after that we're pretty much just waiting on the soffit to get here. So I'll probably switch back to the RV after that. I cut a line over here so that this part here can flap down and not affect the part up here. And then I cut a line down the center here so that this part of the rib will fold under that part over there. And I think it'll work. I put an additional couple screws on this side to make sure that when I do push down on this rib that it doesn't cause this side to come up, but just make sure that it spreads forward to the right. I think this will work out okay, but we'll find out. First thing I need to do is put in the this little base trim section that goes up here, and then we'll have something to butt our corner trim up against. Got this drip edge in here. And as you see on the underside, it has a different color, or maybe you can't see it, I don't know. But the standard back steel color is what you see underneath the drip flashing. Now, it's okay on my building because I have an all-white building, so it's not really all that noticeable. If I had a different color building, I don't think that would be really acceptable to me. And so I think in the future what I might do, and what I would recommend other people doing, I think is either get a custom trim, or possibly even taking this wainscot trim and folding this bottom piece all the way back. So that way you get kind of like a T shape here, and this part would cover the top of your corner trim, and then it would go back and also cover the joint where your soffit runs into the edge of the bird box area. So, and then you'd get this nice painted surface on the bottom, and you wouldn't have that problem. I think there could be a small issue with seeing the top of your corner trim that way. So I don't know, it may just be best to get something custom done, but I would definitely not recommend doing base trim there, or at least if maybe you could get a special double side painted base trim, and then you'd be okay. But you still have a little bit here, right? Let's see, right here, that doesn't look super great. So some kind of T trim there might be the best. I don't know. If anybody out there has a better way, and it knows of a better way or a better piece of trim, leave that down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys do for this situation. Turned out better than I thought. I think this is going to work better than I thought, which is great because I'm less nervous now to do the roof. But yeah, so I cut a little bit further into the rib, so I was able to get my little handbrake in there and flatten it out really good, or at least flatten it out enough where it's not going to move a ton when I press it down with the screws. And so I think it's going to be pretty easy to put the corner on. I'm just going to make sure that I fasten it down into the framing. That way I get a really solid connection with the corner. And I think that'll work out pretty good. This corner's all in now. It's looking pretty good. There's it's a little bit off on some of it. I think it might have something to do with the post there not being perfect, but you know, from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, this marks everything that I can do right now. I think I'm probably gonna jump over to working on the RV, but you know, it's exciting seeing the house coming along and just seeing the thing come together. I'm pretty happy with the result of my first house. And certainly not perfect, but learning a ton, and I'll be excited to come back and finish up the exterior here in a couple weeks. As I mentioned before, we are getting rid of something that's been pretty critical in our lives. And Whitney, what are we doing?
We got rid of our smartphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're recording on one right now, but that has been essentially neutralized into a camera.
Yeah, we detonated everything on it so it can just basically take pictures. It's just a glorified camera right now.
Yeah, and what are we doing now instead?
So Kevin and I purchased light phones. Don't know if you've heard of them before, but they're quite cool.
Yeah.
It's basically a phone that is designed to be used as least as possible.
Yeah.
So some people that have wanted to go the journey of not having a smartphone have reverted back to like a flip phone, like a 2006 kind of style phone, which is a great option. However, this phone has helpful items on there that a flip phone wouldn't have.
Yeah, so we still have directions, calculator, podcasts, and music. You can choose which of those you want on there if you want any of them.
Yeah.
But basically it's the coolest dumb phone that you can get.
Yeah.
We have been going through it for a week. I think
a little over
a week now.
Almost, maybe a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Yeah,
okay.
sure. I don't know. Let's say that.
And it's been pretty interesting so far. It's I definitely been like really great in some ways and difficult in some ways. I think you know, just wanting to get rid of like the feeling of needing an adult pacifier anytime you're uncomfortable or bored primarily. And like it's been challenging sometimes, you know, when I'm laying in bed and I want to watch a YouTube video or something like that and I can't do anything. But it's also been really great in some ways. For me, like I find that my brain is going towards a lot more like problems that I'm working on in the house or doing creative things. I've been picking up my daughter's little drawing pad and working on that way more than I had before. So I've been finding enjoyment in creative endeavors that I hadn't really up until this point, and really just I feel like I have
more time in the day.
Yeah, we feel like we squeeze some time out of the day somehow, magically, because we are very busy people. But yeah, I find myself sometimes being like, oh, I would have reached for my phone to do something on it, and I can't. So therefore, I have a moment I organized our Tupperware cupboard.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, versus like before, I'd be like, ooh, you know, and I get sucked in.
Yeah, scrolling and scrolling. And I feel like, I think you feel this way too. I feel more engaged as a parent. When my brain isn't constantly on all of the other things that I am absorbing myself, the drama of social media and everything else that's going on today.
Yeah,
and I just feel more connected with what is in front of me.
I've been sharing this with a few of our friends and stuff, and one person asked, so like, what is the point of this? Because we obviously are still on YouTube and we still have social media accounts.
Yeah.
And so what is a point? And I was just explaining the point isn't to give up technology because like we live in a technology driven world. Yeah. But just to make it have its rightful place in our lives and in our home.
Yeah.
So having a little computer in my pocket was very distracting.
Yeah.
And was incredibly helpful for certain things, but those things that it was helpful for wasn't worth what it was taking away from my life.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and this, we're not saying everybody needs to do this. It's absolutely not the case. But it's just something that we felt we needed to do. And it's been a transition, but so beneficial.
Yeah.
All the little things that are kind of annoying with this little phone are very small. And what I get back in return to my life has been so good.
Yeah.
So,
in summary, I feel like if you're the type of person that is trying to make big life changes and you feel like your day is entirely strapped, maybe this is something worth looking into for you. We aren't sponsored by them. We just have really enjoyed the product so far and find that it is doing what it's helping us get closer towards our goal of a simplified life and more meaningful.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we recommend it. I'll put a link down in the description box if anyone is curious about checking it out.
That's it for this week. If you're interested in going against the grain and pursuing a life that you truly desire, please consider subscribing. We have some very fun things coming up that we'd love to share with you, and we hope you have a great week.
And hit that like button.
Hit like, subscribe, all the things.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.